was wrong. I was wrong not for what I'm doing. What I'm doing is good for the audience that I'm looking to attract.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? For the audience I'm looking to attract, I'm absolutely spot on. Right. And so are you. For the audience that as long as you know who your audience is, speak to that audience. Stop trying to relate to everybody. Right. Now I'm trying to relate to everybody. Those who have dwarf dreams and goals and low-sighted living, I just don't relate to because I'm not going to dim my light to make somebody feel comfortable, as you can tell. So, you know what I mean? I'm unapologetic for casting a huge dream. And I want people to see that they can have anything they want to. Go for it.
Right.
Stop settling. Stop listening to people to tell you, hey, look, it don't have to be all of that.
We know people like that.
Yeah,
they say y'all are doing too much.
Right.
Well, for you, maybe.
That's my point.
And for some people, we're not even doing enough. They're like, what else y'all have? Right.
I know. So I'm trying to help as we are talking about self-talk because I'm having this self-talk with myself. I'm like, man, maybe I am saying too much. Maybe I'm not relating to anyone anymore.
So
because
it really made you second guess yourself.
It did.
Wow.
It almost made me shift my self-talk for a second.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey out there. Maybe it's Thursday, maybe it's not. I hope it's Thursday, but we are here with the Self-Talk Experience. I am Tracy Self.
And I'm Darnell Self.
Oh, and guess what?
What?
Last time we did our podcast, we had been married 28 years. Now we've been married 29 years.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, babe.
Hey, so guys, it is exciting. And it's August. And for those who are watching or listening to this from the States, from the United States, it's Make a Will Month, Make a Last Will and Testament Month. Yes. So it's an important document. In fact, that's what we do as a business. We help people to gain access to lawyers. And instead of the $750 that it normally costs to do a last will and testament, we actually give folks access to a membership where they can get their will done, get their wills updated, power of attorney, financial power of attorney, health power of attorney. So again, make sure that you get your last will and testament done. It's an important document. Yes. In fact, most folks say it's the love letter you leave to your family. So make sure you get that done and comment and contact us if you need to get that done.
Yep.
What do you want to talk about today?
What do you want to talk about today?
So listen, I was thinking this would be a great episode for the self-talk experience.
Yes.
So I was doing a Zoom presentation and in the beginning of the presentation, I was sharing a little bit about our experience, our journey, which includes from the time when we started our business. For those who don't know, I worked retail. I was a retail manager at a men's and women's clothing store. That's where we met.
Yes, we met there.
And then when we left that career where you were working as the cashier, you went on to work for BET, Black Entertainment Television. And so we went through I call it a season of preparation. For 4 years, we struggled financially, learned a lot, grew a lot, learn how to be tenacious and resilient and persistent and patient. So I'm appreciative of those times, but it was a tough time for us.
It was, but it was a growing pains.
Yeah. So it wasn't easy, but I'm thankful and grateful. So I was sharing that.
Okay. And
then I shared, hey, but we're in a place now where we can travel. We actually booked one-way tickets. Like the other day, it's like, when we're going back, you're like, I haven't booked the return yet. I was like, wow, yes, empty nesters.
Yes.
So times have changed.
Yeah.
Well, I only bring that up to say I fell into a trap that I know exists. And I know you all know exists.
What is that?
And I thought that I'd help to share this today so that I can help some other folks to avoid the continuous trap that most of us fall into.
Okay.
And that is trying to relate to everybody. As much as I feel like I'm pretty relatable. I feel like that. Yeah. What do you think? Am I? I'm saying that.
You're very relatable.
Why did you say it like that?
Because you are.
Okay. Never mind.
I'm biased, so you can't ask me.
Janelle, am I pretty relatable? Relatable? Yeah. Okay. So behind the scenes, Janelle says that I'm relatable too.
Okay.
Because I like to share like, hey, I've been here and I've been here. Some
Right.
folks can't say, hey, I've struggled because they honestly have never struggled. And that's okay. That's not wrong.
Right.
It's just that it's hard for them to say, I know what you mean because they've never been there.
Sure.
So anyway, I brought all of that up to say this. Someone said, hey, I feel like you were being arrogant. I feel like, you were being pompous and talking about yourself and you traveling. We don't really care about all of that. And I thought, man, I didn't feel like I was being arrogant. I felt like I was casting a vision. I felt like I was painting how big the dream could be. If I shared a Toyota-sized dream, I don't know if folks would see that there's a Rolls-Royce or Bentley-sized dream available.
Possibility, right.
If you just share the Bentley-sized dream, then folks say, well, I know I can at least do the Toyota-sized dream. By the way, nothing's wrong with Toyota.
No, I used to have one. I did. I loved my car.
But you get my point. The point is that if you cast a huge vision, folks are like, well, even if I don't do that, I know this is possible. Because if you can achieve that, there must be a possibility to hit this lower level. But if you only share the lower level, then folks are like, well, listen, is that really worth my time? I wouldn't invest in that because, quite frankly, my dreams are here. So I always cast a big vision and allow people to fall wherever they want to.
But like you said, you can't be right for everybody.
That's what I'm bringing up.
You can't.
And I know it. I was attempting to do that. I'm thinking, oh, what I'm doing is the right thing. I'm saying I was wrong. I was wrong not for what I'm doing. What I'm doing is good for the audience that I'm looking to attract.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? For the audience I'm looking to attract, I'm absolutely spot on.
Right.
And so are you. For the audience that as long as you know who your audience is, speak to that audience. Stop trying to relate to everybody. Right. And I was trying to relate to everybody. Those who have dwarf dreams and goals and low-sighted living, I just don't relate to because I'm not going to dim my light to make somebody feel comfortable, as you can tell. So, you know what I mean? I'm unapologetic for casting a huge dream. And I want people to see that they can have anything they want to. Go for it.
Right.
Stop settling. Stop listening to people to tell you, hey, look, it don't have to be all of that. We
know people like that.
Yeah,
they say y'all are doing too much.
Right.
Well, for you, maybe.
That's my point.
And for some people, we're not even doing enough. They're like, what else y'all have?
Right. I know. So I'm trying to help as we are talking about self-talk because I'm having this self-talk with myself. I'm like, man, maybe I am saying too much. Maybe I'm not relating to anyone anymore.
So
because
it really made you second guess yourself.
It did.
Wow.
It almost made me shift my self-talk for a second. For like 1 second. 1 second, I was like, because I like to take accountability and responsibility.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, am I saying too much? And then I start thinking, it doesn't matter what you do.
You're not going to please everyone.
You're not going to be able to relate to everybody. So you got to pick your audience and go for it. So my audience is those who want to dream big, those who want to travel the world, those who want to have more, not those who want to have less.
Everybody's not going to like it.
Everybody's not going to like it.
Right.
So if I'm trying to please everybody, I'm messing up my audience. You know what I mean? I'm messing up my audience because I'm trying to please everybody. I got to stick with my audience.
But that's even with this podcast.
That's exactly right. So we have an avatar.
Yeah, specifically.
And our avatar is about 35 years old. So if the 55-year-old say, hey, look, I'm not really into it. Well, we ain't talking to you.
Oh my gosh, babe. What?
I'm 53. So.
Oh my gosh.
Babe. I'm not 57. I'm 53. Right now, as a live recording of this, I'm 53. My point is that we have 25-year-olds, our demographic, we can see. 25-year-olds who watch it, 35-year-olds who watch it, 45-year-olds who watch it, 55-year-olds who watch it, 65-year-olds who watch it.
My mom and dad like it.
Right. But my point is we had to pick an avatar, though, because what we said to ourselves when we started this is we want to talk to someone who, when we were in our 30s, already started having a family, already realized the real hiccups in life. Like there's going to be some pitfalls. There are going to be some ups and downs. And we wish someone would have told us in our early 30s, hey, look, I know things are going okay. But if you want them to go great, from good to great, do this. Right. And by the way, if you're not in a spot where you're happy right now, do this. Right. And so we let's go back now that we're in our 50s. Let's go back and share with someone who's about 20 years younger than us,
right,
and mentor them so they can be much further along than where we are when they turn 50.
But it's still helpful for everyone.
Absolutely.
But I understand what you're saying. If some don't get it, it's okay.
Right. Exactly. We had to know who we were talking to. We were talking to someone who currently has a career.
Because we couldn't be all over the place.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes we come up with ideas. I'm like, wait, no, that's not our avatar.
Yes.
So our avatar has a job and our avatar wants to become an entrepreneur, maybe a budding entrepreneur. So it's already got its toes wet in starting off a business, but hadn't been successful at it. So he's got so many folks around him trying to tell him what he should be doing, but they've never played the game. So he's listened to a coach who's never played the game. So he continues to second guess himself and needs to shift his self-talk so that he can go out and win in life, because our avatar deserves to win, wants to win.
Yes.
And just he can't sleep at night because he knows he's supposed to be doing more and has just not stepped out to do it.
Right.
Just not expand the comfort zone enough to do it.
Right.
And that's who we're talking to. We're talking to that person. Now, again, if that's not you yet, that's okay. Maybe at some point you'll get to that place. Maybe at some point you'll start to realize, man, that's helping me out. But that doesn't mean we're going to shift our talk to someone else. We still have to talk to the 35-year-old.
Right.
All right. So check this out.
So when you heard that, did someone say it to you? How did you find it? Like, how did that happen?
Someone.
Because I would like to know who it was.
No, I'm not going to tell you who it was.
So you know who it was?
Yes.
Female?
Yes.
Oh.
So
I need to know.
No, you don't.
No, yeah. I just want to have
I'm not telling you. So, but they felt like, I mean, who cares that you travel? I don't even like to travel. And I'm like, well, that's not my avatar. You know what I mean? Seriously, I'm talking to someone who wants to have a greater exposure.
Sure.
Right? Because I know for me, if I'm on a big yacht, I'm not saying they ain't have to do all of this. I'm like, my vision is expanding. I'm like, if they can do this, what is it that I can do?
Right.
And even if I don't like a boat, it's just that it's possible. So if that's possible, I can give away $1 million if they can spend it on the boat.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be used. The money doesn't have to be used for the same thing. It just expands your vision. That's all I'm saying. So look, I was in Oakland, California, years and years ago. And I was there to do a presentation for an opportunity, a financial opportunity, which means that you should probably be talking about a big dream.
Right.
Because who in the world wants someone that doesn't have great self-image to talk about what's possible in the future and they're not confident? Like, I don't want to follow a leader who's unsure because they're going to take me to an uncertain place.
Wow.
So the person said to my business partner, if he was making all that kind of money, he'd have on a Rollie, talking about a Rolex watch.
A Rollie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he said, you have on a Rollie. I think I had on like a Tag watch at the time. So he was like, yo, he would have on a Rollie. And I thought to myself, wow, should I be buying a Rolex? Because I could afford one at that time.
Sure.
But should I be buying one to impress that person? So here's my point. Like, if you say it sounds too good to be true, if you make it look too good, then people say, oh,
it's
sounds
not
too
believable.
good. It's not believable. Sounds too good to be true. You make it look easier than it is. Well, if I make it look hard, then it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. Ain't nobody trying to do all of that. I don't know what to do. And if I don't make it look too good, then the opportunity is not attractive. If I make it look too good, it sounds too good to be true.
Right.
If I wear a Rolex and wear nice clothing, name brand clothing, then it's like you're bragging, you're arrogant, like the person said about me on the Zoom. If I wear a Target t-shirt, which I do wear, by the way, someone's like, if he was really making money, it'd be Gucci, like the person said in Oakland about the Rollie.
Right. Right.
So what I'm saying is that sometimes we're so busy trying to relate to everybody and we miss our audience. And sometimes we're so busy trying to impress people that we miss out finding the real identity of ourselves.
I was going to say, you're not being true to yourself then.
Right.
Right.
Now, if you like nice things, you should like nice things, regardless of what it is. Sometimes there's an insecurity there where people have to say, hey, you know this Gucci, right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know how much this costs, right? If you have to walk up to people and tell them how much it costs, there's probably a little insecurity there.
So is that a self-esteem issue?
Yes. Well, yeah, because you only say that if you're trying to impress somebody. If you're not trying to impress them, why would you tell them?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to impress somebody, you want somebody to see you in a certain light instead of them finding out. And I get it because image, typically people see image before anything else. I know folks say, well, no, for me, it's about value. It's about personality. But if somebody first walks out on stage or they first walk into the room, you see them before you see their personality. You don't know their personality. You don't know their values. You don't know if they love family. You see them first. Why are you smiling back there behind the camera? you see them first, right? So image is important.
No, it is. But sometimes, is it because you want to impress someone because you look up to them and you admire them and you want them to be impressed with you? You right?
Because you of the level of success you've had?
Right. So like if it's your mentor
mentee,
and you have accomplished something, it might not be coming from a place of low self-esteem or not being confident. It might be like, oh my gosh, that's my mentor. I can't believe I was able to get this Rolex. Like, hey, Mrs. Look, I have a Rolex.
No, you're really trying right now.
It could be.
No. Hey, look, you can say, hey, look, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your mentorship, your guidance. It's really allowed us to elevate our level of success and income.
Baby, but if you babe, they're not going to say all that if they're excited in the moment. They see you. Or
if it's a conversation, that's different. Like if I'm like, so you got to tell me, man, like what type of revenues are you bringing in now? That's different. It's like, hey, man, bringing in $400,000 a month right now. I'm like, dude, no way. I'm so.
No, you know how sometimes like a kid is so excited. They're like, look at what I have. Look at this. And it could be coming from a genuine place of excitement is what I'm saying.
It could. But I don't.
Why?
Yeah, because
so
because look, I was chatting with one of my buddies the other day. We were traveling, right, and I was talking to one of my buddies, and he didn't say, "Hey, I have 11 bathrooms in my house." He didn't say. He was just telling me a story about a family member, and he was talking about how kids say anything out their mouths, and they were like, "Dad, they only have 2 bathrooms. I got to use the bathroom. Somebody's in both," and he was like. I felt bad because I'm like, how many bathrooms do you have? He's like, I got 11 bathrooms. And I said, that's why he felt that. We were just having a conversation. It's different to say, that's different. To say, dude, that shirt is nice, bro. Hello, what?
Okay.
Where can I get that shirt? And you're like, Saks. I'm like, what is it? And you tell me, that's different than, I got on this Saks shirt, paid $700 for it. Now, if it's on sale, be like, hey, look, you should go get one. It's only $400.
Just never mind because it's fine. It's fine. I get your point. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Let me get back to the self-talk behind this.
Agree with me. It's fine.
Okay. If you have a mentor and you want to impress your mentor and you want to tell them how much you pay for everything, feel free to do that. But it may come across like there's some insecurity there. Okay, even though you don't agree.
No, it's I understand.
It's okay for us to disagree.
No, I don't disagree. I'm just giving another example.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Different perspective. So what we're talking about is trying to find your audience. So this self-talk I was having myself is I'm like, maybe I should not talk so much about myself. And then I realized that no, because of what I do, I'm inspiring people to become a better version of themselves and to dream big, and sometimes bigger than you've ever given yourself permission to dream. Because a lot of folks aren't having the success that they wish for, that they feel like they deserve, because they haven't given themselves permission to dream big. Mm-hmm. Because those who are around them feel uncomfortable whenever they dream big.
And what happened to you is a perfect example of quickly shifting your self-talk. We talk about it all the time, and you just gave an example of it because you questioned yourself in your self-talk because of something someone said to you. And you quickly changed it and said, you know what? No, because I wasn't talking to them. But sometimes it's hard to make that shift, but you just showed a perfect example of how it can be done.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And look, think about our previous episode. That's such a good point, because our previous episode, we talked about how people don't know everything about everybody. So they make assumptions thinking they do. So the person that says, hey, man, you sound arrogant, just talking about yourself, they don't realize that we only got to this place based on how many people we brought up with us.
Right.
Right. So it was based on the humility, and it was based on us still doing the presentation we actually don't have to do. Like that particular presentation I did, I didn't actually have to do. I didn't have to take time out to do it.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't, it wouldn't have made us any more money if I did it, if somebody else did it on our team. Somebody else on our team could have done it, and we still would have made the exact same money.
But also, it's funny that you're saying that too, because again, we talk about we don't know what people are dealing with or going through. So you said that the person mentioned, well, I don't like to travel anyway.
Right.
Maybe they don't like to travel because they had a bad experience growing up.
Right.
Something traumatic happened and they don't feel comfortable traveling.
Right.
So that's where that came from.
Yeah.
So you never know why people...
Like, forget Bora Bora. Get dreaming big and huts over the water.
Okay, you know what? It's okay. Are we done here? Because I can't. I'm
just saying, forget nicer schools.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just saying.
This has been another episode of the Self-Talk Experience. Darnell Self, you want to close us out?
Yes. Remember, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determine what and even who we attract, even small thinkers and low-sighted living people, if you're not careful. So only focus on your audience. If your audience is an underserved community, then yes, speak to the underserved community. And by the way, there are organizations that we are part of where I'm speaking to those who aren't as fortunate and don't have the same opportunities and have true third world issues. And I do speak differently to that group because that is my audience. All I'm saying is know your audience,
Absolutely.
Know exactly who you're talking to, because in that audience, I would not be talking about some of the same things I talk about when I'm talking about dreaming big to other audiences. So I'm saying know your audience and don't ever feel bad speaking to your audience. It is your audience, and your audience is going to love exactly what you say because it's your audience. So say what you got to say to that audience. The ones who love what you have to say will continue to be your audience. The moment you shift that, your audience can no longer feel confident in following you because they're like, I'm not really sure what he's going to say this time. But whenever we talk, it's going to be about big dreams. And that
was a great save. Good job.
Thank you.
And we will be back.
I was going to say, in places that you can go and travel, but I thought you were going to say, and.
I wasn't going to cut you off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I missed the cue. You missed the cue because I thought that was your and.
It wasn't.
All right. Our executive producer says we got to end. So we will catch you guys on the next episode of the Self-Talk Experience.
And
see,
if you ever talk to my husband in a way that gets him upset, you can call me first.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.